Hi, everybody. This is Eva from SocaMom.com, and welcome to another Caribbean Book Club chat. This time, we're still on romance. We're bringing you love. We're bringing you lots of love for the last couple of months. This month, we are talking to Khara Campbell, and she is the author of Bahama Love. And we're just going to jump right in and get started. Hello, how are you?
I am great. How are you doing?
Good, good. I see you representing in the background.
Yes, my Bahama fly. Whoop, whoop.
So we are so glad to have you. Can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so I am born and raised in the Bahamas, but I now live in Maryland. My husband kidnapped me 13 years ago, so now I live in Maryland. Have 3 kids and a dog now, so very busy. A business owner. My husband and I, we have our own pressure washing business. I also do bookkeeping for our business along with 2 other businesses in the area. And I write. So I have a lot of things going on, but I seem to be juggling them okay right now. So
And
so far
I
so good.
didn't hear, and I take a rest and I get sleep, and I didn't hear any of those things. So how do you manage to do all of those things? Because you have quite a collection of books. We're going to talk about that. But
Yes.
how do you manage to do all of that and like stay sane? Can you tell us how you manage that?
Truly, and people ask me, and it's not a cliche, it's by the grace of God. My faith is by grace. But also I try to manage my time as best as I could. Like I am time management, I'm like, okay, I need to do the important things first. So I go down a list, okay, this is priority number one, and then check it all the way down. Uh with work, the good thing is I manage my own time, so it's not like a set 9 to 5. So I have the opportunity to say, oh, I'm going to do this today or I'm not. So that's a good thing. And I have my husband, so he helps out with the kids. I have a 12-year-old, so he's a bit older, can do things on his own, and a 10-year-old, so that helps
Oh, okay.
compared to when they were much younger.
Yeah.
When, they're more needy, you have to be all hands on all the time with them. So, but definitely time management. That's definitely a big thing for me. Have to
Now,
manage my time right.
now you are really producing. Like you have five they're just romance novels. I think you have five
I have 5, but 2 of them are Christian fictions.
Christian fiction.
Yes,
Okay, awesome. And I know you have one children's book,
yes. Island
which
Girl.
is adorable.
Thank
So
you.
cute. So cute. So tell us a little bit about how you got started writing and how you ended up with so many titles, you know,
Right.
really
Okay.
very quickly, considering, with the traditional publishing, and it takes a long time to get out that many titles. So tell us how
Right.
you managed to do that.
Well, writing for me started from I was a young girl. Like, that's definitely a God-given thing for me. There wasn't anybody in particular that I can say, oh, was a writer in my family, and I kind of just wanted to go along with what they did. So that desire has always been there from I can remember. As a child, and even when I was younger, I used to write stories and little poetries and things like that. I didn't pick it back up again until I was in my early 20s. That's when I pick it back up, and then I put it to the side again. And I would say in 2006, no, no, yeah, 2006 is when I sat down and said, okay, you know what, let me start writing again. And that's when the first novel, Not My Will, came about.
Wow.
But even before that, that's when I wrote my children's book, Island Girl. So that
Wow.
one was self-published. But Not My Will, my first novel, that's under a publisher. So, but yeah, I've been writing for a while, and even with the books that you see out now, it's not like I just wrote them. Like I wrote them in a month and then it's out.
You're
No,
right.
it's a process. definitely a process. And that's what it's funny because a lot of people ask me that, like, do you stay up late at night and write? These books are coming out. I'm like, I've been writing for a while. It's not
Right.
that, in a week's time I have a book finished. No, there's no way. I mean, I guess it's possible. I probably could do it. I know with Bahama Love, that was the first novel that I wrote. That was the quickest novel I've written. And I think it took me, was it a month, 2 months? I think it took for me to write that.
Wow.
Yes, I was impressed too. Like,
Okay.
okay,
Okay. So let me ask you this. Was it easier to write because it was about your home?
yes.
Think it was
And it was
easier?
and it was my first romance. So I'm a sucker for
Oh,
love, and then it was about my country. So I think, because when people ask me that too, I'm like, that's what it was. It was my first
yeah.
romance. I love love, and it was about my country. So that made it very exciting for me, and it was a challenge too, because the first two novels were Christian fiction. And so I said, let me try
Oh.
out a romance novel. So it was a challenge, and I enjoyed it. So I knocked that one out pretty quickly, but the others took a little bit more time.
So when the book club last talked about a romance novel, we talked about that heat index. Now, if you had to rate it on a pepper sauce scale, what kind of pepper sauce would it be? Is it store-bought pepper sauce, or is it the kind that you have to have wrapped in foil and wax paper and plastic, because if you touch it and you rub your skin, it's good. So tell me what kind of heat we're talking about here.
The heat in Bahama Love, it's a mile. It's mild, I have to say.
Okay.
Because with this romance, I wanted to focus on the couple getting to know each other. Because a lot of romances that I read, the boy and girl meet and then
Mm-hmm.
they hook up. It's like
Yeah.
you don't really see how they fall in love and how the relationship builds. So with this one, I was like, let me do something a little bit different from the books that I have read. Though I enjoy them, but I wanted to just focus mostly on the building of the relationship.
So
So
this is a true romance novel. It's not necessarily the hot and heavy sort of thing. It's a romance. It's like the building of relationships and how
yes,
people, okay.
yes.
Understood. Understood. Now, does that mirror any of your real life experiences? I mean, as much as you can share without us getting into your business,
Right,
does any of it mirror like anything out of your life? Because we all pull from our personal experiences, but
right.
about how much of it is you?
With Bahama Love, I can say a good portion of it, maybe 50%, 60% of it is me. It is fictional,
Okay.
but again, like you said, you pull from real life situations, whether it's personal to you or other people around you, or just circumstances that you see going on. But I would say I can see a little bit of myself in the main character. I
So,
can.
so when it comes to people that reading your work, how do you normally start letting people know what you do? Because you have a business and you're a writer. So you have people
Right.
who know you in your professional capacity as a accounting professional, and then there's people who know you as a writer, and there's your family members. And a lot of writers struggle with this. How do you introduce your thoughts and your feelings and your work product to your family and friends, and when it kind of crosses your work boundaries, how do you deal with that?
Um, it's really hasn't really been a struggle, I guess, because everybody kind of know. Well, let me take that back. I've had some people tell me, "Oh, I didn't know you were a writer."
Yeah.
So I don't like. I'm one of those people that don't really like to talk about the things that I'm doing. Not that I'm hiding it, but sometimes I like to keep certain things personal. And if they find out from other people, that's great. Because I kind of
Mhm.
like that word of mouth, like, hey, she has a great book, or she's a great bookkeeper, or whatever the case may be. So I guess that's a humbling thing in a way. When people bring the attention on me, I'm kind of like, oh, yes, thank you. But Just getting that praise from other people is kind of little funny for me sometimes. So I do appreciate it and I accept it.
Mm.
But
Okay.
yeah, I as far as introducing myself to people, a lot of people that knew me for a long time, they always knew that I love to write. So those
Got
people, it's not a big surprise. And then there are some, like I mentioned before, that know me, like you said, on my professional with my bookkeeping. So it's like, okay, I didn't know you were a writer. But I would bring it up when I'm talking with people. I would say, oh, I wrote this book, or there may be a situation where I'm like, oh my gosh, that's similar to this character in my book I just wrote, or such and
it.
such. So that's generally how it comes about. Because I'm not really big on, oh, I'm an author. Like, I don't like pushing myself in front of people type of thing. Do you
Yeah.
understand?
Now, that's something I've noticed. I've talked to a few different Caribbean authors, especially moms, and that's not something that they want to do necessarily. It's like I love writing so much. I want to do my work, and the whole publicity part of it is difficult. So,
Yes.
how do you deal? I know I was looking at the different events that you do. So, you go to, you have book signings and things like
Mhm.
that. How do you deal with that? I mean, you've got people who will be watching this that are introverts and they're like, I have something to say. I want to start writing, but this whole publicity thing to actually sell the book is difficult for me. What kind of advice would you give?
Oh my gosh, I am one of the biggest, or used to be, because I learned that about myself, so I'm breaking out of it. But I am or was a big introvert. Like, just talking, and like I mentioned before, talking about myself wasn't a big thing. Like, I would praise other people. I was a big cheerleader for everybody else.
Yes.
But when it's for me, it's like, I like to just, reel it in, not be out out in the front. So definitely when I got published with my first novel, my publisher, sorry, getting tongue tied, but my publisher, she told me, look, Khara, I get that you're an introvert. I get that you like to keep stuff to yourself, but as an author, people want to know who you are. They don't want to
Yeah.
just know that you're a writer of this book or that book, Purple Tears and Bahama Love and Can't Love What I Don't Trust. They want to know you as a person. So that was hard for me. Even on Facebook, putting certain posts, I'm very personal
Yeah.
with my posts and certain things that I display on social media. So gradually, I've been getting out of my shell, though, my comfort zone, my tendency is to go back in there. But
Yeah.
I have been coming out a lot more, and I can say I'm a lot more comfortable and confident with myself and putting myself out there in the public eye. Because even personally, myself, I'm a writer, but I love to read as well.
Yeah.
And so when I encounter other authors, I like that personable, experience with
Right.
meeting them up front and, getting a little glimpse inside their lives and what they're
Yeah.
doing, not being nosy, but just, feeling like I can relate to them in some way. And that's what I have been doing since my first novel was published last year. I had to think because, like you said, it was so much that came out. But
Yes,
it
you
was last
have a lot
year.
happening.
Yes. So within a little over a year, I've been gradually coming out of my shell. So I'm very proud of myself. I have to give myself a tap on the back right now.
See, and we're proud of you too. Now, so tell us about the books that you have. Start at the beginning
Hmm.
and do Bahama Love last. So let us know, because I know you have an Amazon page. We're going to tweet out the link to that, and
Okay.
it'll be in the Caribbean Book Club chat, so the Caribbean Book Club Facebook page, so that people can find it. But
Okay.
tell us about the other titles that people can read from you, and what they're going to get from it. Are they going to be inspired? Are they going to be entertained? Tell us what they can look for from your other books.
Okay. Well, first I need to start off with my writing. They're all fictional. And with it, I like to entertain, but I also like to give a life lesson or just a message, something that people can take with them into their personal lives. So I'm really big on that all across the board with the children's book, the Christian fiction, and the romance.
Okay.
But the first one is the children's book, Island Girl. So Island Girl is about a young girl named Tina. She's growing up in the islands of the Bahamas, and it's based around just trying to fit in with other kids,
Oh, and that's a big
basically.
thing.
Right.
You know, that's a big thing.
Yes. So that's the main thing, trying to fit in with other kids. Tina, she's more of the girl that likes to climb trees, and then the other girls like to play with their dolls, and she's not really into playing with the dolls. So, just trying to make friends with them and not have them look at her differently because she doesn't really like what they do, but she's still trying to build a friendship.
And make friends.
So, right. So just dealing with being made fun of and rejection. And then the biggest thing with Island Girl too, I wanted children that's never visited the Bahamas or a Caribbean country to get the experience of the islands through
Oh,
Tina's eyes. So that was very big for me. And even with the illustrator, I wanted somebody that was from the Caribbean. So
understood.
the illustrator now, we did it a couple of years ago. I think it was 2011 that it was published.
Mhm.
But she and I now are really good friends. So, but yeah, I was really big on I need somebody from the island that can depict the culture and the colors, and
Yes,
it
the
was very
feeling.
important for me. Yes, because anybody can draw, but I wanted somebody that was from the island. So that was very big for me with Island Girl. And then after Island Girl, my first novel was Not My Will. And Not My Will is about a young lady newly saved, gave her life to Christ, and now she's struggling with wanting to put a hold on her sexual relationship with her boyfriend. And
Oh,
so she's unsure of how to bring up that topic to him and
wow.
how he's going to react. And,
Oh my
too, she's also
gosh.
struggling with it herself because, she's in this newfound faith and struggling with putting a hold on something that she's been, engaging in for so long. So just how everything falls into place with that decision. And then there's Purple Tears. Purple Tears is about Purple, she's the main character. On her mother's deathbed, she reveals this shocking secret to her that just turns her world upside down. And she just feels like, okay, the person that she was before, she feels like she's not anymore because of this news that her mother gave her.
Oh, no.
So now she's just dealing with, trying to come to grips with this shocking news. I can't tell you what it is. You have to read it.
Oh, of course. Wow. Okay. It's got me thinking
So,
like, wait, what'd she say? What
right,
happened?
right. So that the Purple Tears is a little bit more of a heavier topic.
Hmm.
It's Christian fiction, but it's a little heavy topic
Okay.
for something I have to let people know. But it's a really good. Of course, I'm going to say it's really good because I wrote it. But yeah, it's a really good book. And after that was Bahama Love. But let me go back. Let me skip over Bahama Love. And the recent release that I had, books 1 and 2, were Can't Love What I Don't Trust.
Yeah.
And that is a romance. And those are also based in the Bahamas as well.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Now tell me this because you know I'm nosy. So do the two books, do they intertwine, the part one and part two and Bahama Love, do they intertwine at all, or are they completely separate fictional
Bahama,
universes?
they are separate. However, I do bring in, I think, 4 of the characters just briefly from
Okay.
Bahama Love into Can't Love But I Don't Trust, just so the readers can know, okay, that's what's going on with them right now.
Oh, nice.
Yes, yes,
That's a nice little creative twist. I like
yes,
that. You know, I had to check. I like that.
right.
Okay, so now let's talk about Bahama Love. So tell us, a brief synopsis and what it is about this book that everybody is going to love.
Okay, so Bahama Love is the main character, Nathan. He is he's a American Bahamian. His
Okay.
mother is a Bahamian citizen, but his father is American. How and they are they're wealthy family. However, he doesn't show his wealth, I would say. And not that he's ashamed of it, but he's just had experience with women. Just that's all they want. They look at the money
Mm.
and not try to really get to know him as a person. So he lives in the Bahamas. Their family, they own this huge resort. And so he works as one of the maintenance manager at the resort. So nobody there
Oh.
is even aware that he's the owner of it.
Ooh, this feels like TV. Okay.
So,
Okay.
so yes, so he keeps it under wraps. Like his family will come in and visit, and even their family, even though they're very wealthy, they try, they're conservative, they keep to themselves. So they're not out there showy, everybody
Right.
knows what we got type of situation. So he's able to keep it, um, the secret per se from other people in his life. And on a
Okay.
trip home to the Bahamas, he meets this young lady, and she's a bank manager and very strong, real, just a typical woman, single lady, working hard, doing her own thing, has her own house, car, and all that stuff. And they meet up, and you would just see how the romance between the two will build, and how, Nathan is trying to just build some type of relationship with her
Mhm.
because he's just, want to get away from the money hungry women.
Oh, okay.
And just seeing how it all plays out with the relationship, and when maybe it's revealed that he is this wealthy person, what would she do? How would she react
Wow.
to it?
And how does he want her to react to
Right,
it?
exactly. And
So,
along the way, it's not that, in every uh relationship or story, there's few twists and turns in there. So there are a few little characters in there that's going to try to stir things up and make it a little bit more interesting as well. So you'll see how the relationship goes between the two main characters, but along the way there are some things that are going to be like, okay, all right, I didn't see that happening. I had a lot of people tell me that, so I'm glad how it all worked out.
now we're going to be reading this as a group very soon. And what would you tell somebody who, if you had one sentence, you've only got one sentence
Mhm.
to get somebody to be interested in reading this book right away? What is the one sentence that and it could be a compound sentence, you could put an and in there, but give me one sentence to get them to want to read this book.
Money cannot buy Money can buy him love, and trust is worth more to her than what's in his bank account.
Ooh. Ooh, see, now as a mom, that makes me think about my two sons. I'm like, yeah, I don't want any money hungry women coming looking for my kids and such
Right,
like that. So us moms with sons are gonna enjoy thinking about that, making sure that there's somebody who loves our sons for themselves. Is that
right.
something that we could relate to? Okay. All right, all right. I'll give you that. I'll take that.
Yep.
Okay. So last question for me usually is how would you promote your book? But what I really want to know is, what advice would you give to another mom out there who wants to write? She wants to tell her stories. What kind of advice would you give to her as an author who's produced so much? What would be your best advice?
I would say definitely start writing. If you haven't, don't stop thinking about wanting to do it. Right. Start writing, get in front of that laptop, that computer, get the notepad, whatever it is, and just start writing. Because that's the biggest thing. You need to have material
Yeah.
to put out there. So you need to start writing. Stop saying you want to do it and actually do it. And also, don't get so caught up in the fact that you're writing a novel. Because if you think so much about, oh, I'm writing a novel, you're going to get stuck because it's going to become overwhelming. Because that was me when I wrote my first novel. When I started writing it, and when I started thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm actually writing a novel, I started to panic, like, going to be able to make the word count. Like, I was thinking so much about I needed to be within 60, 70, 80,000 words. So that put pressure on me. And when I stopped thinking about, okay, my word count, I'm like, let me just write and let the story flow. And I was able to get it done by thinking, okay, by not thinking about, I need this amount of words or that or the other. So, right. That's the biggest thing.
So what would you say? Because like I said, I've talked to a few authors, and that's one big thing that they say is that you have to just get started.
Yep.
The other thing that they say is that there's a correlation between how you write and how much reading that you do. Now, you said you're a big reader. Can you, either confirm for us or give us other little thoughts about the correlation between how much reading you do and how well you write?
For the longest time, and I just started this year where I was able to do this. For the longest time, I couldn't read a novel or read novels and write at the same time. Like if I was writing a novel, writing a book, I could only stay focused on that. I couldn't pick up anything else because I felt like my mind would be too distracted.
Right.
But recently I started doing that, and it's like, okay, that's not so bad. I can actually write and read at the same time. Because for the longest, I just like to keep my characters stuck in my head. I didn't want to get enmeshed with other characters that I'm reading.
Understood.
But reading helps with your writing style because you read other authors' work, and it just helps you craft your own writing skill. Not to mimic anybody else, because you want to have your own writing style, definitely. You don't want, you want to stand out with your writing style. But it does help. It's a learning tool in a way. Just the formatting, if you're unsure about certain formats or you know how to create a certain scene, just reading a really good novel from an author that you enjoy and just see how they're able to do that and transition from one scene to the other. It definitely helps. It definitely helps.
Now that's some good advice right there. Thank you very much. I'm sure everyone will be very pleased to hear that it can happen. You can read and write at the same time. Like you can, pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time if you needed to. We multitask. That's what we do.
Yes.
So, final thoughts on Bahama Love, because we're going to be, talking about it soon, and we want to get people excited about it. What's your final words for everybody on that?
With Bahama Love, it definitely, like I said, it's based in the Bahamas, so you will feel the culture of the Bahamas when you're reading Bahama Love, and that's something that I really wanted to come across when I wrote it. For those that have never visited the Bahamas before, I want them thinking, "Oh my gosh, I want to go."
Yeah.
So that was something I really wanted for people to experience. So I was very big on naming foods and location, just building the scenery. I wanted to draw people in, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from people saying, "Oh my gosh, I need to book a trip right now."
Yeah.
For
so you need to work with the tourism authority on that one.
Yes, I need to get a check from all these people coming to the Bahamas.
That's awesome.
But also, just, not to give up on love. Because Nathan was there. He definitely was there. He's been burned so many times. And, Riley came along. She was a breath of fresh air to him. Though the trust issues were still there. And you will see that when you read the novel. But any new relationship that you get in, the trust has to be built. For some people, they go in trusting. I know a lot of people, yeah, that trust has to be built up. Like we can get to know each other, but that trust has to build to the point where I can, fully be myself with you. And,
Yes.
so you will see that with the characters. And like I said before, I wanted to show how the relationship grows. It's not just, oh, we met and boom, we're in a
Right.
relationship. I wanted to show how they got to know each other, how they worked through the certain situation that they're faced. And again, like I said, there are some twists and turns in there that would keep you like, oh, okay,
Well,
that's
we love a good twist and turn.
yeah.
We love a good twist and turn. So thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to chatting with you again with the book club. And I'm Eva from SocaMom.com. We've been speaking with Khara Campbell, author of Bahama Love. And visit our Facebook page and the Caribbean Book Club. You can just put it in your search and you'll find it. And you'll be able to see all of her links to Amazon and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and her blog. So
Yes.
thank you so much for joining us. Great
Thank you for
having you.
having me. Thank you.
All right, and we'll see everybody soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.